Hi everybody, it's Honest John. Here in the United States, we have a document called the Constitution. And it says that as citizens of this country, we are entitled to due process and protection from unwarranted search and seizure. Well, it's looking a little tattered and raggedy nowadays. Maybe battered and bloody would be a better metaphor, because it's been under assault for years. There was the Patriot Act, which gave the government all kinds of inroads into our privacy, many of which we don't even know about, because the document was deliberately made long and dense and filled with legalese. I've tried reading it more than once, and it's impossible. We have the increased use of national security letters, which, when you get one of these letters, you can't even tell anybody that you got one. Many of them have been illegally served on American citizens, but it's hard to fight it when you can't talk about it. We have the Citizens United decision, which took rights reserved for people, for citizens, and handed them to corporations, giving them way more influence over our political system than is healthy for all of us. And now, in the current Defense Appropriations Bill in front of Congress, there is a clause that's been slipped in which would require that anyone accused of terrorism be turned over to the military for indefinite detention. Now, Obama has threatened to veto it, but it shouldn't even come to that. I mean, that clause should not even be there. I mean, it's ridiculous. An accusation is not proof of anything. An accusation has to be proved in court. But we, as citizens, either because of cowardice or indifference, have been doing a lousy job defending that old Constitution, which means we're doing a lousy job of protecting ourselves. The precedent was set when we allowed the detention of prisoners in Guantanamo, and when we took some terrorist cases out of our civilian courts and handed them over to the military. They said it was only for foreign terrorists, but there have been American citizens held at Gitmo. And all of us, you, me, your friends, everybody, would be subject to indefinite detention, and all it would take is an accusation. Now, on the positive side, we could take Randall Terry and Grover Norquist and hold them indefinitely, but even that positive is not enough. Hey, I travel a lot to entertain troops overseas. Well, some bureaucrat could look at my travel record and decide that it's suspicious, and the next thing I'd know, I'd be in indefinite detention before I had a chance to prove what I was all about. Now, I hope this abomination is eliminated from the bill, but that won't be enough. We as citizens have to demand that our rights be restored. We must demand the repeal of the Patriot Act, and that all laws needed to defend ourselves from terrorism be passed in small bills with language that can be understood by the common person. We must demand that Gitmo be closed down and all terrorist suspects be tried in civilian courts. If we can't prove they're terrorists, that's our problem. Now, before you say, oh, you're going to release a bunch of terrorists, stop and think for a second. If we can't prove they're terrorists, then we don't know they're terrorists, and we shouldn't be holding them in the first place. Either we believe in our democracy or we don't. We can't believe in democracy just when it's convenient. And we must demand that the 5 judges who voted for Citizens United be removed from the Supreme Court. We must demand our rights be respected and not transferred to the government or to the corporations. I mean, we're beginning to look like a third world country economically. Let's not turn ourselves into a dictatorship. Thanks for listening.